The Indianapolis Colts just finished up their draft, making some very interesting picks, but what else is new? For example, running back Seth McGuire. Now, to the average person, this pick makes absolutely no sense with Jonathan Taylor playing some of the best ball of his career currently. But to an open eye, when you really dive into it, Taylor is 28, 29 by now, and he is starting to eventually he's going to start losing all of this amazing talent he has around 31 to 34. And when that happens, who else do you have? You don't know. You don't know who you're going to have. So, what Ballard currently sees is a player that is very similar to Jonathan Taylor currently, in somebody that they really like in this running back Seth here. So they take him now before somebody else can, and with Jonathan Taylor's help and with other help from all around him and running back coaches, he can turn into an absolute even better player than Jonathan Taylor. Now, all of the Colts picks were to fill a position of need for the future, except for linebacker and edge. Those two picks this year were made for players to start next year. For example, C.J. Allen, Caden Curry, and George Gums. I know very little about George, but what I do know is that he's a player out of Florida. He's 6 foot, and he started as a receiver in Illinois. But the deal is, if he was drafted by Chris Ballard, Ballard always has a reason for drafting someone for some reason. And his reason for drafting this player was because he sees potential. He sees potential future talent in him. All that is needed is for development, in which the Colts can help with, from Lou Anarumo. Now, for Caden Curry. Caden Curry played for Ohio State, and there's some questions about him, which is obvious, as he did not get as many sacks or tackles or fumbles or interceptions or whatever as Arvell Reese did. But the deal is, Arvell Reese is a more developed player at this moment. So when you've got a more developed player currently, you're going to end up with a different result than somebody else. Now for Caden Curry, he's 6'3", and that's considered a little small for a natural D end. But I really disagree with that. He's an amazing player. If he went to Ohio State and he started at Ohio State, he's got talent. He's got talent, obviously. So why would people be questioning if he's small? Everybody's going to question, okay? It makes sense. It's the world. The world questions. Go ahead, question. Question everything. We questioned Laiatu Latu when he first started, and he's turned into an absolute amazing player. And I believe in a few years, or in even one season, just like Latu, Caden Curry's going to become really good. And with Latu's help, he could become even better, which is going to just make the Colts D-line really threatening, as they now have DeForest Buckner for maybe this last season or one more year. Then you've got Latu. Then you've got Caden Curry. You've got JT Tuimalu. And you've got the new 25-year-old defensive tackle from Green Bay that you traded Zaire Franklin for. So you can question everything about this, but he's going to be a star whether people like it or not. I really think the questioning here is, why was he not taken earlier? Now, the Colts' biggest pick of the entire draft was round 2. They originally traded back from 47th to 53. And with the 53rd pick, they took C.J. Allen, linebacker out of Georgia. He was an off-the-ball linebacker. He's a leader, he's smart, and he's good at doing his job. What else do you want out of a linebacker? I mean, what you got out of Zaire Franklin was a leader, a good player, and he was smart. And you got that guy in the 7th round. You got this guy in the 2nd round. If you take somebody in the 2nd round, there's higher expectations. But Zaire Franklin, God, what he turned into be with help and teaching, he definitely turned into a 2nd or 1st round linebacker. And what did you just take CJ Allen as? A 2nd round linebacker. CJ Allen can produce into a 1st round linebacker that should have been taken. A lot of the picks that Ballard makes, you can argue over and over again. But in the future, when it comes down to it, you're like, wow, he should have been taken earlier. Just like Jonathan Taylor should have been taken way earlier than the 2nd round at 47th. He should have been taken way earlier. It's unbelievable what you see. Tom Brady should have been taken earlier. It is the production and the growth that you get in the future that you look for. Not what happens currently, what happens in the future. That is what you are looking for through progress. You're looking for progress and you're looking for building more and more. Back to CJ Allen, he was an off the ball linebacker with Georgia. He had 205 tackles, 4.5 sacks, 1 interception, 2 forced fumbles, and 13.5 tackles for loss. His best season was his junior year, which was also his last season with Georgia. He had 88 tackles and 8 tackles for loss. This was the most tackles he had out of any year, which is brilliant. That's so good for him because that shows you can get another tackle machine just like Zaire Franklin. And when you're making all these tackles and keeping them back behind the sticks, that gives the rest of your defense a lot of hope and a lot of strength, which is really good for what you need from a defense. What this also means is that he improves really fast. He made that difference in 2 years. That's great. In 2 years, you can be a Super Bowl winning team. Thank you for watching. I am Walker, signing off.